ship off island. You came here, you got involved with the food pantry. Did you do any kind of volunteerism of any sort when you were in South Dartmouth?
Yeah, I was very community involved.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, I've always done that. I mean, I've always liked to be involved in the community.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's just that when I moved here, the food pantry struck me so much because, again, I was one of those people who, for the most part, thought that, well, those kind of problems don't exist here. And it just, I fell in love with the food pantry, so to speak. I really did, and I wanted to do what I could to help people. I mean, it's a pretty tough choice when it's a choice between rent, telephone bill, electricity, or what have you, and food.
Right.
You know, and there's a lot of single mothers here, Gino. Right. It's a safe place for them.
I think a lot of people might look at the food pantry and think, come on, we really need a food pantry. There's plenty of work here. You know, we've got the lowest unemployment in the, you know. Why do we need a food pantry?
Well, we need it because, again, number one, as I said, there's a lot of single mothers here to start off with.
Okay.
It's safe for them. They have children. The father of the children might not provide for them, might not, in most cases, isn't even here.
Right.
And it's just disappeared off the face of the earth.
Right.
And, you know, they just, let's face it, with the cost of living here, you know, just the rents and et cetera, it is very, very difficult making ends meet. And also there's people here, you know, the food pantry was not designed for some, you know, as an alternative to the A&P and the Stop and Shop. You know, those two I shop there.
Yeah, right.
So there are people who might come, you know, once a month, or once every 2 months, or once every 6 months. You know, because, I mean, it's for when people get into a bind.
Did you find that people were abusing it at times?
With anything that is for free, I don't care what it is.
Right.
You're always going to get a certain element of people who would try to abuse anything for free.
And how do you know that?
Basically, by being out and about all the time, which I am, you get to see people. And you get to see a lot of people. And you hear a lot of things, some of them, you know, true, some of them not true. But if you see somebody out at night in one of the popular night spots around the island, you know, having a good time and spending money, then obviously they're not the right candidate for the food pantry.
Right. And
they need, you know, I used to say we need to sit down and talk.
Really?
Yeah, and it'd be nipped in the bud right away.
Yes, right.
But then again, there's, you know, sometimes there are extenuating circumstances too.
Right. And what about people who are in need but can't find or too proud to come in and
that's a problem.
Is it?
Yeah, that is a problem.
Yep.
That is. Then Mohammed brings the mountain to the people.
Really? Is that what you used to do?
Yeah. And you know, because there are a lot of people who are very proud. Yes. But the best thing about the food pantry was that, you know, it's anonymous. Nobody knows who's coming and going. You know, the records are all in a very safe place, and that's the way it should be. So it can be done. It can work out very, very well that way. And the lady who's running it now was a lady who had volunteered for me, and she was an excellent volunteer, and she's doing a great job. So, and I've told her anything I can do, you know, at all. You know, because I'd be happy to. Because I really loved it. I felt as though that was kind of my baby, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah. No, I do, because I was a volunteer there for a little while, and that's how I got to know.
You enjoyed volunteering there.
Yes, I did.
It's a fun thing.
Yes, it was. So why did you take the job down in Florida, though? Why did you take that job? Did you know that you were going into that job before you got down to Florida?
No, actually, I had gone down with the airline.
Oh, that's
going to be opening up Fort Lauderdale to Key West service.
Yeah.
And then that was open, but what happened was, the minute I got to Florida, I started volunteering for Covenant House. And you have to go through more hoops just to be a volunteer there.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, because they do background checks on you.
Do they?
You know, very extensive.
Psychological tests?
All kinds of tests, everything you could imagine.
Wow.
And I was volunteering for a short period of time, and things were really going well. They were really clicking. And one night I came in to volunteer, and they asked me if I would like a full-time job. And, you know, they asked me what my background was. They're very specific on certain things. You have to have a college degree, you know, things like that. So anyway, they did did some more background checks, and the next thing I knew, I was working in Covenant House, Florida. And as I said, I really loved it. It was quite an experience. It can be at times very emotionally draining, Gene, because you see a lot of real tough situations. But if you can make a little bit of a difference in some kid's life.
I guess that's the way you got to look at it.
Right, and that right on site there, they had GED, all kinds of things. Oh, right on the premises. And then, you would just start to gradually introduce some structure into some kids' lives. They had addiction management programs, and it's a residential shelter. I mean, the kids actually live there. Right. Some of them stay a week, some of them stay a day, some of them stay 2 hours, and some of them stay several months. But it's just to help point them in the right direction. And they do have their share of success stories. They really do.